State's Marcy Walsh is live at the Northern York County Regional Police Station with more, and Jacob Hunziker is live at the shooting scene. We begin with Jacob.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Susan. Breaking new developments this noon. A law enforcement official has told us that the man who is accused of shooting and killing those 3 officers here in York County and wounding 2 others has been identified, as you mentioned, as 24-year-old Matthew James Ruth. Now, that official spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity because they were unable to speak publicly on an ongoing investigation. I want you to take a look at this map this afternoon because we want to give you a better idea where exactly we are currently standing here in York County. So we're on Har Road, which is in between Emig Road and Senft Road, a very rural part of York County, a lot of farmland, some cornfields. The closest house to the farmhouse where this took place is about a half mile down the road. So again, a very rural area. I also want you to take a look at this footage from earlier this morning. This is the lone officer that we saw returning to the scene just a couple of hours ago, kneeling down to pay his respects, show respect to the fallen brothers that he lost yesterday in this shooting. We also want you to take a look at the scene footage from Airview 8 that we got yesterday. You can see where officers lined the roads leading to that home here on Har Road. Multiple law enforcement officials who were briefed on the situation tell CNN that the shooter was an ex-boyfriend of a woman who lived in that farmhouse. On Tuesday night, we know that Northern York County Regional Police responded to the home after the woman says she spotted Ruth in a nearby cornfield. When officers arrived, they couldn't find him. According to CNN, officers were returned to the property Wednesday afternoon for a follow-up call, and Ruth, dressed in camouflage, fired shots toward them, ambushed those officers. One of the sheriff's deputies then fired back, hitting and killing that 24-year-old. We spoke with a witness at the scene who says that he had heard about the ex-boyfriend and the relationship with the woman at the home.
When I got past the barn, I heard gunshots. And I was on the road, and then I pulled off, and I just saw a lot of chaos and saw some bodies.
Now, this is the cornfield where we believe, again, that suspect, Matthew James Ruth, ambushed those police officers, which is right across the street from that farmhouse here on Har Road. We can't confirm if that's the exact spot, but again, that's what we believe to be the case with that police caution tape.
Thank you very much. I'll now turn it over to Governor Shapiro.
This is an absolutely tragic and devastating day for York County and for the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We grieve for the loss of life for 3 precious souls who served this county, served this Commonwealth, and served this country. And we continue to pray for the full recovery of those who are dealing with their wounds. This, of course, is on the heels of just a few months ago when we lost another York County son, Officer Duarte, who again gave his life in the line of service. I had the opportunity with the Lieutenant Governor and with Senator Phillips Hill, Representative Grove, and your 3 county commissioners to spend some time with the families of those who have been impacted by this violence today. I think it's important for you to know that these families who are dealing with, they're grieving right now and they're suffering right now, took time to tell us how proud they are of their loved ones who put on a uniform to keep us safe. It's an extraordinary thing that these law enforcement families do. They support the individual who puts on the uniform and runs toward danger. They're there for them when they leave in the morning, and they pray throughout the day that they will come home at night. So I hope as this community comes together, as I know it knows how to do, and prays, that we think not just about those who wear the uniform, but those who stand behind and next to those who wear the uniform every day. These families are extraordinary, and I hope you'll join me in prayer for them. I had some time to spend with the law enforcement who are gathered here today, who ran here because they knew that their brothers in uniform were in danger or their lives were cut short. And I'll just share with you what I told them. The entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania respects them, and we have their backs. And we so appreciate the work that they do every single day when they go out to keep us safe, when they go out to protect our freedoms and our rights. This is something that, sadly, we only tend to share in times of tragedy. I think it is important that this Commonwealth knows that every day we appreciate those who put on the uniform and those who keep us safe.
Good evening. My name is Colonel Christopher Paris. I serve as the Commissioner of the Pennsylvania State Police. I'm going to address you this evening concerning a critical incident that has rocked the community here in York County this afternoon. The incident occurred in Caduras Township, York County. I'd like to preemptively say that there are many details which at this point we are not prepared to release, given the ongoing nature of the investigation. That having been said, we would like to advise the community that there is no current active threat. The situation today involved law enforcement officers who were shot. I can confirm that the shooter is dead. I can confirm that there were 5 law enforcement officers who were shot today. 3 fatally, 2 that were transported here to Wellspan in York. They are currently listed in critical but stable condition. The District Attorney of York County, who is no stranger to this community, or in collaborating with the Pennsylvania State Police, Tim Barker, I've spoken to him. The Pennsylvania State Police has been asked to convene a major case team to conduct the lead in this investigation with the assistance and in collaboration and in partnership with the York County District Attorney. I can assure you that all of the resources of the Pennsylvania State Police are being brought to bear. There is still very much an active scene at Caduras Township, York County. Later this evening, the District Attorney will have more information to release. I can tell you that the Pennsylvania State Police have taken over calls for service for the Northern York Regional Police Department, and we will continue to do so to support our partners. I can tell you that I've spoken to the special agent in charge of the FBI out of Philadelphia, our municipal partners and county partners here in York County, and we've received multiple offers of assistance from our fellow state partners to include New Jersey and York. But we have a very large investigative scene. In being here today with our law enforcement family for the second time in 2025, I'd just like to say on a very personal note, our hearts and prayers go out to them, to the families of the deceased and the families of those officers who were wounded. There are simply no words that I can offer to assuage the grief that this community has experienced and unfortunately will continue to experience. The grief will be unbearable, but we will bear it. So we stand here today united for our partners all across the law enforcement spectrum, and we will not rest until we've conducted a full, fair, competent, and thorough investigation into this matter. Lastly, I would simply ask to the community here in York County and beyond, all across Pennsylvania and all across our nation, if you could keep the families that were touched by this tragedy today in your thoughts and prayers. Please give them a solemn thought. And to the women and men who are working diligently right now to push this incident forward and the investigation forward and the aftermath that will have to be dealt with and persevered through, our hearts and prayers are with them.
I share your thoughts and prayers for the officers that were lost today, the officers who were injured, and every law enforcement person across this great Commonwealth. We are unfortunately here again in York County because of gun violence, the issue that brought me to public service. I want everyone to know today is not just a devastating day for this community in this region, it's a devastating day for our entire Commonwealth. My wife Blair and our entire family join in the prayers of, I believe, 13 million Pennsylvanians who are praying for the officers and their families today. You know, we ask a lot of police officers in our communities, and they always run towards danger. I think we all have a responsibility to continuously do our part to make our community safer. I know I'm going to continue to do my part, and we are consistently grateful for the commitment and the sacrifice that our law enforcement officers make. We're grateful for the healthcare professionals who run towards danger to aid folks in their time of need. And we're so grateful for the work that they've done today.
Let's say that I find it very interesting. And on this platform, a lot of the times we happen to go through the whole rotation of people wanting to come directly through, be like, oh, well, the blacks do this crime and this crime and this crime and this crime, right? But a lot of the times that I cover these stories, I happen upon stories like this, where officers are ambushed, their lives are taken, or simply going out there and doing the job that people say that police are supposed to do. And this was specifically dealing with a DV dispute, argument, whatever you want to call it. And these are some of the worst situations that police would, rather not respond to. They rather respond to a robbery or anything like that, because you know what you're going to get. You know what's going to happen, so your mind is already focused. When it deals with DV or, just couples in general, you don't know how it's going to go. You could be a cop coming directly there to the scene, and you're there to protect this person and that person. And then when you decide that, okay, well, enough is enough, we're going to separate you two and all this other type of stuff. Now both parties want to go out there and they want to attack the police for doing the job that they're paid to do, that people always tell them that is needed directly within the community. And in this instance, the male decided that he wanted to ambush the cops. And I find it a little bit interesting how this is not posterized and posted all over social media. I find it very interesting how this is not talked about through the airwaves, as people wanted to talk about a variety of other stories. Right? Elon throwing up murals of the Ukrainian woman. They're going to put 300 murals across the United States. And then we got the whole thing dealing with Charlie Kirk. Right? We got those main stories directly through the airwaves. But when it's dealing, as I've stated before, with other people that are losing their lives, what is dealing with other people that are doing their jobs to, quote unquote, protect and serve. This is what everybody always say, right? Everybody says, oh, the thin blue line, back the blue, right? Blue lives matter. But it seems as though that the same people that always state these things ain't showing up. They're not talking about this. They're not trying to report on this. They're not trying to highlight this. They're not trying to throw the bat signal, throw flag on a play. They're not trying to state to everybody that there's a problem, there's an issue, and something needs to be done. Something needs to be fixed so that this does not become a continuation. So that this is not an everyday, a weekly, a monthly, a yearly thing. Because these are the same people that always say that they care, quote unquote, about the police, right? The boys in blue. And the most interesting thing directly about this is the fact that we do not have a actual real picture of the person who did it. Color me surprised on that. Color me surprised that we do not have a picture of the man who took the lives of all of these officers. Matthew Ruth, age 24. Not a picture. There was a picture or two going directly around, but again, those pictures were not the factual 100% of who it is that was supposed to be. Those were just pictures posted directly around. This is why I didn't post those pictures here. Like I said before, it's crazy how the person who did this, they're not even going to show us who they are. That person ain't here. Everything is pretty much said and done directly with that person. But still, people need to know who this person was, to be able to identify who this person was, to see if other people that were around this person or knew of this person knew of any types of situations, any types of ideas, any of the thought processes, to see if there was some type of warning signs directly out there. And now we're getting to the point where whenever instances like this happen, people are going to start to ask, what is the political affiliation of said individual who decided to commit said crime? I feel like it's going to get to a point in time where that is going to become a staple question when it deals with a lot of these instances, if it's not already happening at this moment in time, dealing with the high profile Charlie Kirk instance. Like I said, it's crazy to me how these things aren't really talked about and highlighted. But I promise you, if that person could be identified or stated that he was 100% black, that his picture would be all over the place. Family, friends, his record, all of those things would be directly out there. And people would find even more information to say that, oh, there was a propensity, or there were obviously signs, and this, that, and the third there. And how could people allow this person, after they had said this on Facebook or online 5 to 10 years ago, how could people not, warn the FBI, right? But when it deals with other people, supernaturally, nobody's trying to scour the internet for information. Nobody's trying to find any type of proof for whatever. Like I said, this is a very dangerous situation, and there are a lot of men and women who are police, and things like this should not be happening. But yet they do. Because people don't want to specifically call out their own people within their own community. Whenever there are signs and symptoms, they just want to push that and leave it, under the rug or in a closet, or they want to just put it somewhere where nobody else can see it or identify it. And then when things happen, people are like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. How could this happen? What is the world coming to? Our neighborhood, our town, our city, we don't have or do anything like this. We don't know how this could have happened. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But you just don't want everybody else to know that you knew, because that's going to make you look and seem a certain type of way, because you could have potentially stopped it, or at least warn people that this type of person had this type of idea or this type of hatred within them in order to commit to actions like this, which is the loss of life. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.